More sad news for the Golden State Warriors. As you all know, the Warriors haven't gotten off to the greatest start and they are currently out of the playoff picture. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the sad news that has just dropped from the Golden State Warriors, and we're going to be going through 3 other stories as well in today's video. So make sure you like this video, and if you want more Golden State Warriors content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. But let's get into the first sad news story, because Steve Kerr had this to say about the start and especially about the Warriors core. And when we're talking about the Warriors core, we are talking about players such as Steph, Klay, Draymond, and Andre Iguodala. He said, "We know this isn't going forever. This could be the last year, and hey, this may be the end. We're in the final stages, we know that." And I think this is honestly huge to see from someone like Steve Kerr, especially despite the fact that they haven't gotten off to the greatest start this season. They really thought they could run it again and win another NBA championship with this same core. However, as the start of the season has showed, it does seem like Father Time is catching up. Will they be able to make a trade in time? Bob Myers had actually had this to say, saying that they are going to be making adjustments if needed, but it is the start of the season. We will see how this goes. So I think what he's basically saying with all that when it comes to Bob Myers and what his strategy is moving forward, he's looking to see whether they can turn this around with the current core. If they can't, I think Draymond Green and Klay Thompson is definitely going. They have honestly been on the trade radar for some while now. A lot of NBA executives have also said privately that they think that Draymond Green and Klay Thompson are up for a shop and that they are looking to make trades for him. So it is interesting to see, because Draymond Green and Klay Thompson have definitely provided so much for this Golden State Warriors team, and they would not have won the last couple of championships without these two players. Do not get me wrong. And me as an NBA fan, and especially as a Warriors fan, it is sad to see them go if that does happen, but business is business, and business as usual. Bob Myers may look to let them go in order to make way for Jordan Poole to actually expand his game, become a starter, and maybe they might get a superstar power forward out of training Draymond Green and also Klay Thompson together. There were rumors on getting KD back for those two players. That could be up for an option, but when it comes to those two players getting traded, that is probably the most likely move if they continue to lose and if they stay out of the playoff picture. Right now, the Golden State Warriors are ranked 10th in the Western Conference, and after today's loss against the Pelicans, it doesn't look like it's going to get any better. So will they be able to turn this thing around? It is tough to see, because their defense continues to lack a lot and their offense is only just Steph Curry, and that's pretty much it. The second sad news that has just hit the Golden State Warriors is that James Wiseman is going to be going down to the G League for some time. And this was actually a move made by Steve Kerr himself, and saying that he needs to get more minutes, especially with everything that is going on. Obviously, Steve Kerr is trying everything in the book in order to turn this Golden State Warriors team around, and it does seem that James Wiseman needs more development in order to become a great center, not only for Golden State Warriors, but especially for that second unit where he is definitely needed. I think it is pretty unfair to say that James Wiseman definitely needs more development, because I think his stats definitely show that he's putting up some pretty good numbers. Now, so far this season, he's actually averaging 6.8 points per game. He's actually averaging 3.8 rebounds and 1 assist. So it's not actually as good as his rookie season. However, I do think a big factor of this is that he's getting half the playing time that he was getting back in his rookie season. I think James Wiseman should definitely have stayed with the Golden State Warriors full-time roster and be there and continue to develop. I think they can definitely use them, but in exchange for that, they've actually called up 2 G League players, which is Patrick Baldwin Jr. and Ryan Rollins. And both those players are actually rookies this year, and I think it's very surprising to see a sophomore, or pretty much a sophomore after his knee injury, play and go down to the G League, and Ryan Rollins and also Patrick Baldwin Jr. head up into the majors. So I think this is honestly fascinating when it comes to what Steve Kerr is actually doing. It may have thrown a lot of people over the bus when it comes to what his game plan is moving forward. Patrick Baldwin Jr. had a pretty good game tonight against the Pelicans, where he actually got 7 points per game. However, it was a blowout win from the Pelicans. Now, none of the starters were playing, so that's definitely another thing you have to take into consideration. But when it comes to this move by Steve Kerr, I think it's very interesting, and it threw off a lot of people. Steve Kerr is definitely throwing everything at the sink and trying to find something that works, because right now, with the way that they are running, I don't think it is getting any better. When it comes to the players that did leave last season, such as Gary Payton II, JTA, Otto Porter. I think it really does show how much vital and how much usefulness they had in this team, because they were honestly some of the reasons why they could close out games because of their great defense. So defense wins games, and maybe Ryan Rollins and also Patrick Baldwin Jr. can provide that, and James Wiseman definitely can look to develop more into the G League. I think James Wiseman definitely is a great scorer inside. I definitely think he needs to work on his three-point shooting and also his defensive ability. His total rebounds of 3.8 is not bad. However, you got to take into consideration that Stephen Curry is actually averaging more rebounds than James Wiseman, and James Wiseman is literally 6 inches taller than him, weighs 250 pounds, something crazy, and I think it's honestly insane to see James Wiseman not put up such great rebounding stats, especially since his rookie season he was averaging 6 rebounds a game. So that's definitely something he can improve on, and I think that's why Steve Kerr has sent him down to the G League to develop more and more. But it is still sad news to see him go. The third sad news is that Golden State Warriors may fall further than the 11th rank that they currently have in the Western Conference, because for the next 10-day span they are versing some of the top teams, and all of them are actually above them. So some of the teams are playing, which they just played, is the New Orleans Pelicans, Dallas Mavericks, Minnesota Timberwolves, Los Angeles Clippers, and much more. But when it comes to that 10-day span, all the teams that are actually ahead of them, they are versing. So Timberwolves, we all know how great they have been playing so far compared to last season. Anthony Edwards is a beast, Rudy Gobert is doing great, and same with Cat. Now, their record is very similar to the Warriors, but they do have one extra win and one less loss. The Mavericks have gotten off to a bit of a shaky start compared to last season, but Luka Doncic is Luka Doncic, and he can definitely put on a show, especially if the defense is not right, and that's something that Warriors struggle with right now. New Orleans Pelicans, we've seen how great they've been doing, and on top of that, Los Angeles Clippers continues to dominate silently, where they are currently ranked 4th with an 11-7 record. So they are versing some really tough teams, and it's not going to be easy to see them come out on top. However, if they do end up losing those games, we could see them drop all the way to 12th or 13th with Lakers and where also Oklahoma City Thunder are. So hopefully they are able to pull this off, and I think it is going to be a sad day if they end up falling back further. Steve Kerr definitely has a lot of things up his sleeve, so I think he can definitely do it. If Steph Curry continues to play the way he's playing, I think they can definitely get those wins. One major issue that they definitely need to solve is the defensive factor of it. I think their defense is very weak when it comes to the Golden State Warriors. They haven't been providing the same defense that they provided last season, and that may be due to the absence of players such as Otto Porter, Gary Payton II, all these great guys. However, it's time for it to turn it around, because there's no better way than to turn it around right now. It is early on in the season and anything can definitely happen, but I think for this Golden State Warriors team, in order for them to be successful and in order for them to do what does best, I think they really need to start looking at what they need to improve, and defense is definitely where it starts. If you look at the defensive rating, they are actually ranked 25th out of all 30 teams, so they're pretty much the 5th last when it comes to defensive rating, so that's not really good to see, especially since last season they were actually ranked 1st. So a lot of defense has definitely left the building, and Steve Kerr definitely has to figure that out in order to get this team back in the playoff picture. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Peace.